Whoever didn't tell me that this is not a movie that you take your dad to see with you. No. The first whole hour of this movie is basically just a massive orgy.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's unfortunate.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
It was a lot. So I just went on this huge rabbit hole about this movie because there's so few movies depicting this specific time. Hollywood's sort of switch from the silence to the talkies in 1927. And this movie really plays all throughout the Roaring 20s, Prohibition. The movie is fairly historically accurate from everything that I'm reading. It does take a lot of liberties with the story. It's very fictional truth. LA was historically a wet city, so people would come to LA from all of these dry cities and party like crazy animals. It depicts this crazy Hollywood party, violent, druggy-filled world. I looked it all up and it's like true. Like that's basically what LA was like. There was a lot of gun violence. There was so many drugs, a lot of leftover opium and heroin addictions from the 14s and the 15s that weren't really ever cracked down on. Also, whoever didn't tell me that this is not a movie that you take your dad to see with you. Wildly pornographic for the first hour. It is also a 3-hour and 10-minute movie. If Hollywood and entertainment in general is gonna move back to longer form media, which don't get me wrong, like I love long form media. I love that these directors and cinematographers are taking more time. They're giving the story more time, more life, more love. What I don't like is that you expect me to sit in a movie theater for 3.5 hours. You're not gonna start the movie on time. I basically have to block out 4 hours of my day. That's a lot. I just feel like there needs to be some sort of compromise if director after director after director is gonna start popping out these 3.5-hour long movies again. But with all of that being said, I mean, we're talking incredible performances from Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt. We get cameos from Kaya Gerber, Taylor Hill, Tobey Maguire, Jean Smart. When you talk about a star-studded cast, they said Babylon, Chaos, all of the celebrities that you have ever wanted to see in a movie together. I mean, it was just insanity. Oh God, Tobey Maguire's character freaked me out. I don't know if he had syphilis or just an opioid addiction or what, but when I'm talking purple circles all down to here, this man was the scariest looking that I have ever seen. Ever. Margot Robbie's character was based off of Clara Bow. Apparently, I didn't read into Clara Bow, but apparently it's almost word for word, scene for scene, picked from Clara Bow's life. Brad Pitt's character, really sad ending. I won't spoil it for you. Very artistically done, very sort of different, but you felt like you were in old Hollywood through their cinematography, their choice of words. I mean, even the accents that the actors did. I was incredibly surprised at every single actor had that old American accent. I really love when a story comes full circle, and I will tell you that this story does. Manny, one of the main characters, all he says to Margot Robbie's character is, I just want to be a part of something bigger. That's why I want to be a part of the sets. That's why I want to be a part of Hollywood. And he goes on to massively help during the transition to the talkies. And he comes back to Hollywood after being gone for like 20-something years, and he breaks down in tears and is so moved to see what he did in that transition to the talkies in film. The evolution of Hollywood is incredible, and the legacy that Hollywood leaves is incredible. But we so rarely get to see that transition depicted, and it could not have been an easy one. I mean, we're talking silent movie stars, completely different formatting, trying to move on into a singing, tap dancing, this, that, the other world that never existed before. It was just really incredibly interesting to watch. We're talking incredibly beautiful shots went on to inspire the Hollywood that we have to today. So I think it's really important to remember where we came from in entertainment and where we are today. And I think this movie is a beautiful sort of documentation, realization, and remembrance of where we started and where we are now. I would say go to this movie. Go to this movie.